Okay, so in this video, I'm not going to keep you long, but I just really wanted to talk about a little bit of something that us as barbers and beauticians sometimes struggle with is um, just getting raises. And so I know it's a tough topic, and I know everybody still wants the same cheap services, the $10 haircuts and whatever the women was charging for getting the hair and stuff done. But like, we got to just, like be for real. I feel like, a lot of times when we ask for extra money, when our prices goes up, probably once every 5 years, 4 years or something like this or whatnot. I think, you get a lot of feedback. You get a lot of people who, was like, man, I need to go and find me a cheaper barber. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Or I need to go find a cheaper beautician or something. Or they still want those same prices that they used to have back, you know, 15, 20 years ago. But things are changing, and there's a lot of stuff that changes. One, the cost of living. So at your regular job, when you are not self-employed, you have an employer. Every year they revamp and give people like a cost of living raise. For us as like self-employed people, a lot of times we don't get those types of things. We have to make those things ourselves. And so what ends up happening is that, like, when you come into the shop, or, we send an email out, send a group text out or something, and just, let everybody know that we getting an increase. I think a lot of people look at it like we are scamming, but you getting extra money every day on, or you getting extra money every year or whatnot, getting your raises, you doing overtime, you doing a lot of stuff like that, and you get the extra money for the services rendered or whatnot. And so when we do it, it just seems like a crime or whatnot. People like, ah, man, they just trying to get over or whatnot. But a lot of the complaints that we get are from people who, you know, don't tip in the first place, and not asking for a tip, but you know, the prices that we make are, what we are good with. And so pay the price, don't complain, because you know I think it's part of life. Things are getting higher. You can't continue to have the $10 haircuts. You can't continue to have the cheap hair services or whatnot. And so, as as you look at it, and as you want to advance, you want to do better, you want to get more money. Everybody else needs to get those increases. And when you think about it, you probably go out to eat, and then you tip your waiter or waitress or whatnot. You tipping somebody who gives you, a service maybe one time. And for us as beauticians and barbers, it's a lot of stuff that we just have to deal with naturally. It's like, when concerts are happening, when shows are happening, when events are happening, we are the ones who are preparing you for it. And like, and I'm talking about all type of events in life. Maybe it's a concert, maybe it's whatever. But sometimes it's funerals, weddings, everything. Like, what gets calculated in a lot is us as being the professionals, as far as just getting y'all together. um I just don't think that's really accounted for from everybody. But I do, I appreciate a lot of the people who don't put up the fuss about, us having to increase prices and increase services or whatnot. There's a lot that goes into it. Like, we have to pay for our own equipment. We have to pay for, just, comfortability. So, recently I just bought a new barber chair, and, is certain things that, we have to do, as far as like giving you the best services. So, like, the products that we use are actually going up. The tools that we use are going up. Everything is going up, and everybody wants more comfortability. You want a whole lot of different stuff that um, you just want these nice services. And if you are not increasing what you giving, or you know, you are not, you know, even giving tips or any of those types of things, like it's hard to expect, you know, I feel like it's a lot to put on your barber or your beautician to want them to have these top-notch services, and you complain when the prices go up. You don't tip. You don't do a lot of these types of things, and you know, you want these extra services. You want a whole lot of extra everything, and so that has to come out of somebody's pocket. And if it's not coming out of your pocket, it's coming out of our pocket. And so we know the things that have to account for. We got taxes, we got all of this other stuff that we got to do. And for years, I know, even, you know, speaking of taxes and stuff, when, you know, a person is getting a service, or anywhere you go and you pay for anything, a lot of times it comes with taxes. But you know, people don't want to pay the extra tax. People don't want to do all of those types of things. You just want to get your service and move on. But you know, when we take the money from you, we got a lot of extra stuff that we have to worry about and account for. So you know, when we making our prices, we want it to be comfortable or whatnot too. You know, so as you are getting what you want, we need to get what we want. So um, yeah, I think that's just something that needs to be said, and this is not a thing of, you know, doing a rant for, uh, you know, just trying to solicit any extra money, or you know, just trying to solicit anything. But like, just stop complaining when we raise our services up, because as we raise our services up, people are like, oh man, they cheating me. You know, you can go and get you another beautician, another barber, another this and this and that or whatever. But you know, we try our best to give the best services possible. And um, you know, we live on the same money every year. You know, when y'all come in getting these new jobs and new raises and, you know, new positions and all of these types of things, um, you know, we need to be a part of that as well. So, you know, just stop complaining when our price is raised. Stop complaining when, you know, we have to charge more for after hour services and stuff. Like, nobody really wants to work overtime. And if you work overtime, you deserve to get paid more. So when we put these fees and stuff on top of, you know, holiday services that we doing, or after hour services or whatnot, you know, it is what it is. And yeah, so anyway, we appreciate the business, and I know I speak to, you know, I speak for a lot of beauticians and barbers and stuff. We appreciate the businesses, because without people, we wouldn't have a business. And you know, but also without beauticians and barbers and stuff, a lot of y'all would be walking around looking nappy headed and ugly, and you know, all of these other things. But anyway, I'm just messing with that, but halfway serious, because yeah, some of y'all definitely need your hair done. And but yeah, so anyway, but that's just my piece on that. And you know, drop in the comments if you feel like I missed something, if you feel like it's something else that needs to be said about this. Yeah, but anyway, I'm Damien, and until the next video, I'm out. Peace.